We're approaching a new era. Facebook is on the brink of possible collapse.
Wow. That's how you wanted to start it out? That's
Uh,
pretty crazy. And you're right. I couldn't have said it better than myself. We are, what'd you say? We're in the, what? In the new era? What'd you say?
we're on a brink of a new era with social media because I've always wondered. Everyone always thought, what is the next stage in life where the next new social media platform takes over? We had MySpace, then we had Facebook. MySpace died out. Then we had Instagram, which was absorbed by Facebook, and then we had like all the other ones like Twitter, Snapchat,
Do you want to
whatever.
know what
Then now we have
took over?
TikTok.
Do you know what took over?
What?
Truth. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I thought you meant like the truth.
Nah, but look, it's hard to believe. First of all, I want to say bravo, bravo, bravo to Facebook. I got to give them props because they lasted a long time, but they're on the brink of collapse. And I'm going to tell you that it's kind of their fault. Okay. I know you're going to blame Apple. Okay. Because in 2016, Apple put security where Facebook can't track the users anymore and they don't know how to advertise to them, right? Something along those lines. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, they basically made a new security feature in 2016 where apps can't track users, and it makes it harder to specifically target their audiences. Yeah, so Facebook and a lot of other Facebook's bread and butter is advertising, despite they're doing all these other things. That's how they make money.
But you see, Facebook became, I think it's their fault. I think they became irrelevant because of the advertising. They got greedy. So let me explain. I used to really heavily post video on Facebook, and I was actually pretty successful at it, right? I would post on groups, and forget about posting on groups. What they did is they limited to what the audience can see because they wanted you to invest money in advertising. But that backfired because a lot of creators left Facebook. A lot of creators were complaining about this. I remember there was one guy, he was really popular, and he actually answered my comment because I commented it on his video of him complaining. And he's like, yeah, he was going on this rant. So a lot of creators got turned off. And I'm telling you, like, because I'm subscribed to a lot of creators there, and I don't really see their videos anymore. And there was this other guy, I forgot his name, but he's like some kind of political commentator. So a lot of people were complaining about it. Now, they wanted them to advertise instead. That backfired because it's not going to happen. But then I'll tell you another thing. So I started doing something different because I would post into groups to get more exposure. And after posting the same video to like 5 groups, let's say, because I'm part of many, suddenly they banned me from posting to groups for like a week. Can you believe that?
Who's they?
Facebook. Facebook, because they don't want you. They know that you're gonna get exposure that way. They don't want you to
Well,
do that.
that was at a time where they didn't push video as much as they do now. So they were kind of late to the
No, you're
game.
wrong, man. Look, I went to StreamCon in New York City. StreamCon is like
That's
VidCon.
Google.
Hold on a second. So
I
VidCon
mean,
is in
YouTube.
LA. There was a StreamCon, and when I went there, I forgot what year I went there. I'll tell you, it was probably 2015, like that. Maybe 2014, right?
Video wasn't so
It was because there
not
was a
on
guy.
Facebook.
Listen to me.
Not on Facebook.
Who's gonna know more, me or you?
Why would you know more? Just because you went to
Because
some
I would
Comic Con
actually, I
thing?
started putting out video way before you got involved in this, so I know I'm in the mix.
Just because I didn't put it out doesn't mean I
Listen
don't
to me.
know.
This is what happened. I went to StreamCon in New York City. It was the one and only StreamCon. It failed. They never had one again. It's not as popular as VidCon out in LA. So I go to StreamCon and I met some people there and they told me. So what I used to do is I used to take my videos on YouTube and I would post them on Facebook. And he says, don't do that. The Facebook algorithm doesn't like that anymore because they're trying to push their video. And I remember seeing on even smart TVs, they would have applications for Facebook video. They really tried to make themselves a YouTube competitor, kind of, right? So they've been working on video for a while. But what's dumb is that they limited creators. All right, they pushed it away because they wanted them to pay for advertising, and then they also limited them to post to groups, so they really became like a police state on their own social media platform, not allowing you to be creative. They even failed so bad that they allowed you to post your podcast on there, right? There's an RSS code, I believe, you take from Anchor. You could post it on Spotify, Apple, whatever. And now they took that feature out because it wasn't doing well. So now what's hilarious about Facebook, people not complain, they make fun, and they say that Facebook is such a dinosaur app that you only have the boomer generation using it, right? Millennials are kind of like there because they got in there when it first came out. So they're still kind of there, but they're more like on Instagram, now TikTok, right? Gen Z, forget it. Gen Z probably doesn't even know what Facebook is.
I'm sure they know that Facebook is, but what I was gonna say earlier was that they're actually losing users. Like users are actually deleting Facebook or not being as active on it. And that is what is causing their revenue streams to drop and their sales to drop. And given that Mark Zuckerberg is investing billions of dollars a year in his metaverse, it's actually a bad formula because he needs that money to invest into his metaverse to build. But once if that keeps dying out, then they're in a tough situation.
So the thing with the metaverse is you actually do need Facebook for the metaverse. Why? Because you're going to need a Facebook profile, I'm assuming, in order to use the metaverse. No?
I have no idea because I never use it.
But like I can imagine, because
Well,
unless you go into the metaverse and you create a new account, but like I'm sure it's easier if you already have Facebook. You could import
but a lot of
information.
also like there when you go on websites and sign in through you know how you could sign in through Google. A lot of companies are removing their Facebook sign in key instead of now they're just having sign in through Google or create your own login.
So I was very impressed with Facebook when I first found out about that sign-in key because they were the first ones to do it, I believe, right? Like websites like IMDb, for instance, or
They were able to read all your data and be able to target you with specific ads.
right, and then there was this movie application I used to use. There's so you know Fandango, where you check for movies. There was another competitor app, I forgot the name, and I would log
Movie
in.
phone?
No, and I would log in there because basically when I would buy a Blu-ray, they would come with a digital code and you can redeem that digital code so you could watch movies on that application. So basically I would use Facebook sign-in key with that, with pretty much everything, IMDb at one point. And now you're right. Now I'm seeing you could sign in with Apple, you could sign in with Google. So that makes Facebook even more irrelevant. Now I give Facebook props because they've been around so long. They bought Instagram, excellent move. They tried to buy Snapchat, which, by the way, Snapchat made a huge mistake, in my opinion, not selling to Facebook. How much does Facebook offer Snapchat? Do you remember?
Up to I think at one point either from 3 to 10 billion.
Well, I remember it was valued at 10 billion, but I think they offered them. Did they offer them 10 billion? I think they offered them a billion.
No, it was like 3 billion or something like that.
3 billion. They should have sold it because honestly, I was thinking like especially when Instagram ripped off their stories, I was like, "Oh man, I just don't see Snapchat growing like that."
I mean, Snapchat was big at that point.
Yeah, but it had a limited ceiling. I was
They
like, he should have sold. And word on the street is that he's a rich kid anyway, so money is not really a motivation to him. But he
what do you
should have
mean?
sold the company.
So what, you're gonna sell your company just because money's not a motivation?
No, but the company doesn't have a long ceiling, and look, we're
But that's
seeing
because
proof of that.
that's because you know how it is now. But
Dude, but I
you would say
called
the
it.
same thing if Instagram was in the same
No,
situation.
I called it when they rejected that. That's when I called it. I was like, he's making a huge mistake. I don't see Snapchat really growing. And yeah, they came out with cool features, right? Like picture filters, right? Oh, but now Instagram does that too.
They just
Then
have
they
a
have
problem.
Snapchat News, which is
They
like,
have a ton. They
blah.
have million. They have tens of millions of users. They just have a problem advertising and making money. Just like
Exactly.
Twitter.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean they're not growing. They still have a lot of users. They just don't know how to make
So
money.
are they growing? Are they innovative?
I don't know. Should probably look that up before this podcast.
Probably. And I'm not going to look it up now, but I will say they made a huge mistake. How much do you think they could sell the company now? Probably not as much.
Probably more.
Snapchat could sell for more than 3 billion?
Yeah.
You really think so?
They have more users than they did at that point, which was when 5, 6 years ago.
Well, then they should sell now. It's a sinking ship.
I don't think now anyone wants it anymore.
Exactly. So you're saying that it could sell at 3
I
billion?
mean,
Well, no.
Facebook probably wouldn't have done anything better with it. And look what they did to Instagram. They butchered it.
What was the downfall of Instagram? I think TikTok just stole its thunder.
So I think I think there's two things. Obviously, TikTok was a major force, but I think it's them moving away from pushing from actual photos. And I get it that video is the future and it's the present now, but the ones who used Instagram the most were millennials, right? So you have to listen to what your audience wants. If it's you're not doing well right now with videos, with reels, because reels is garbage. I mean, they show the worst reels. A lot of the stuff I see that is good comes from TikTok, because you see the little TikTok logo and it's like months after already it's hot on TikTok. And even though reels is somewhat still active, they also don't know how to monopolize that, or monetize that rather. So they're in a very hard situation. So they should just go back to focusing on a photo app, because photos are still a big part of people's lives. Now the problem is, if you notice, people don't post photos as much anymore. I think stories is the hottest thing.
So you
So
see what you're saying.
what I would do is somehow focus on making stories like the go-to app. Like I don't have an idea for that, but that should be, because that's still hot. That's still hot. There's people who haven't posted in months and still post stories a few times a week.
So the thing is, you just said it though yourself. People don't want to post pictures anymore. So if they focused on just photos, then they'd become irrelevant, and then people like you would criticize them for not being innovative.
Yes, but also you're right. But at the same time, I think it's because they just lost that motivation to post, because you don't the chronological order, or you get a lot of like that BS suggested stuff, which is all memes. You know what I mean? Like I see the same accounts over and over again, and it's also like if you follow thousands of accounts, how are you going to see everyone at once?
So I think what happened with Instagram, they tried to do to TikTok what they did with Snapchat. And what they did with Snapchat was very successful.
And it
Because
worked
they
better. I think they actually hurt Snapchat that way.
Right, they hurt Snapchat and their stories blew up, made Instagram even hotter. Instagram failed at IGTV, which I'm not sure if that came out after the stories or before, I don't remember. Um IGTV was a flop, which I think was kind of like TikTok actually, the way you would scroll up and stuff. I think it was. I don't remember, but what was the downfall of IGTV? I guess maybe because the
It just
videos
wasn't
were too
popular.
long.
It just wasn't popular. It was a separate app also.
It was also a separate app. So Instagram was best for its pictures. It had video feature before IGTV and before Reels, right? Which was cool. It complemented the photos, and then the stories. So do you think if they just left that at that, simple video, photo, and stories, get rid of IGTV, get rid of Reels, it would be great? Because I think Reels is still
Possibly, but the biggest killer of, or the biggest what's killing Instagram is TikTok. Even though a lot of people, like, I guess that are millennial, like the older millennials, are probably not on TikTok, but they're probably looking at it. They're still scrolling through it. Now, think about it this way: there's people still scroll through Instagram, right? But what's the hottest feature of Instagram right now? It's still stories. But stories only takes up the small top part of the app.
right,
And you have to scroll
right.
from right to left. So why don't they actually make that take up more of the real estate of the app rather than the actual
What
useless
if, yeah, so instead
photos?
of Reels, they'll implement that same video but in stories, I guess, right?
Yo, Mark gotta pay us for this, man. If we see that app changing to what we're saying, yo,
No, but right, it's a good idea. So instead of Reels, and instead of trying to be like TikTok, it's the same format of you swiping, it's just showing different stories, right? I like that.
yeah, yo, and first of all, I don't know about you, but my algorithm for Reels is just garbage. I mean,
Mine also. No, mine also, but I'll tell you this. Don't
and it's the audience that's
don't give
using
up on
it.
Instagram so fast because at one point, and nothing could be hot forever, right?
That's
It's
true.
impossible. Like for instance, like Eminem, right? In the early 2000s, he was on top of the world, and now he's still famous, but he's like he went down a little bit, and that's what happened. That happened with 50 Cent. It happens with everybody. You can't
But that's
always
different
be on
though.
top.
That's an
No,
artist.
no, no.
It's
But
a
same thing with
person.
apps. Like, look at YouTube. When YouTube first came out, it was the hottest thing. And now it went down a little, but it's still very, very relevant.
Still, yeah.
Very relevant. It's not as hot as it was when it first came out because it was pretty much the only one in the game. But I see that with Instagram. And I'll tell you why. Because when I go on TikTok, people are always putting their Instagram on their TikTok profile and saying, please follow. They're always promoting their Instagram. Please follow my Instagram. Please follow my Instagram. A lot of people get banned on TikTok and they end up just using Instagram instead or YouTube instead. And they're like, they even said it in their TikTok, please follow my Instagram just in case I get banned from TikTok. So TikTok bans people for stupid
I
things or
think
faster than Instagram
I
does.
think it's because of the who's reporting you on it.
Right, but the way TikTok is designed,
But that's
they
not.
ban people more than Instagram does. Or I think even when Instagram bans people, they kind of just suspend their accounts temporarily. I think once TikTok bans somebody, they ban them for life, I think. Um
I don't know, but Instagram is also messy. There's all this like shopping stuff. It's like
there's too much going
you
on.
feel like you're in one of those malls, and it's like there's like people are selling you
No,
keychains
but I
and
do. No, no,
shoes
but
and
actually, I
CDs.
do like Instagram though for shopping because think about it. Let's say somebody has a page for nice cars, and you see how much the car costs, and you go and you want to buy it or whatever, wallets, jewelry, anything,
Right, but I think it's like too
candles.
much. They're trying to do like too much and shove it all into one app.
They did that with Facebook, but they got to do that with Instagram also. What I just don't understand about uh, Instagram is why are their reels only a minute and a half and they keep extending it? It first started out, I think, 15 seconds, then 30 seconds, then 1 minute, 1 minute and a half. And same thing happens with Facebook. Facebook used to be 30 seconds, now
TikTok is
it's
like
1 minute.
3 minutes long.
Right. So what's up with that? Why can't you just make
But
it 3 minutes
you're
long?
never gonna be able to replicate another app and make it better. Like
What they did with Snapchat, though.
it was Snapchat because I think it was timing. I think they were really hot on time. And Snapchat is also weird because it's like it's very like personal and very like a one on one.
Right. And Snapchat, not everybody had, and everybody had Instagram. So when they introduced that story, people are like, oh, cool. A lot of them thought Instagram thought of that, you know?